The semi-final one jury show of Eurovision 2017 has come to a close. We have seen all 18 of the semi-finalists perform, so now it's time to go around, review the acts, and then talk about the potential winner. Are you ready? Let's do this! Opening the show was Sweden, Robin Bengtsson. This was a very confident performance. He was oozing sex and serving face. I love at the beginning how he was really on point. Some might say it's a little sterile, but I think he's loosened up a lot. This is going through. I'm not concerned. It looked great. He sounded good.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, and he's done this so many times from Mouthfest all the way to now, and he's a definite qualifier.
100% qualifier, very, very good. Great opener to the show. Yeah, exactly what we expect from him.
Yeah. Next up was Georgia's Tamara Gachachaladze. This is a huge grower. I had low expectations. She brought the heat, literally performing in flames. She turned up when she needed to. This is her best performance she's given so far. It actually gave me tingles. I've never really liked the song, but tonight she sold me.
Yeah, tonight she brought her A game. She lives off the crowd. We know she doesn't like empty rooms, and she showed that tonight. But the crowd gave her life, and I'm on the verge of liking the performance.
Genuinely, just shockingly good. She really astounded me. I know she had a tumbleweed as a weave on her head, but yeah, vocals, best she's ever done, I think, it's fair to say. She killed it. Georgia, I think, are definitely qualifying now.
I love the tumbleweed reference. It's like she's filled the stage, and it started with the hair.
Tumbleweave.
Oh, tumbleweave, sorry. Followed it with the voice. All right, next up was Australia. Visually, this is finally working for me. They've created a dreamscape. There's lots of close-up shots of the LED, so it's almost like he's in some kind of Technicolor dream. I also think they've minimized the turntable. It used to be rather distracting. Like, you just saw this table with wheels on it, but now you don't really notice that until later in the performance. He's definitely improving.
Yeah, all the faces are still a bit disconcerting, I think, but he stands out in between the two rather old-fashioned ballads either side. His has better production value and it's more modern.
I worry a little bit about Australia. I think that there's a chance they won't make it. He was very good, but it just feels after those first two performances, it does just feel very underwhelming. When you've got them all one after the other. I don't know, I have a sneaking suspicion that this might be the year that Australia failed to make the final.
Yeah, Taco's voice is so big,
yeah.
It makes him seem like a mouse in comparison.
Yeah. And he's a great singer.
A brilliant singer. It's going to be interesting. Maybe he's a victim of the running order. But hey, he can still make it. Next up is Albania, Lynne, Dita. I love this girl. I love this girl so much. I think she does a lot of vocal tricks that other people can't do, and she was trying really hard to nail those this evening. I love that shot at the end with the spaceships. It was really on point. It brings everything together.
It was nearly as if she was waiting in the wings during Tamara's performance, and she saw what happened, and she was like, gosh, I have to do something. And she nearly overplayed her cards and tried too hard, because there was moments where she seemed strained, and then it didn't help then that she kind of looked like a crazy bride who ran away on her wedding day. The staging now is very messy. When it first came, it was quite simple because she wasn't wearing her costume, she didn't have the fog, but tonight it all looked a bit overcooked.
She is amazing, but that performance wasn't, and it's sad to say that in a way because we know how good she is, but it felt like maybe she panicked or something. It just felt like it got away from her tonight, and the juries will notice that at the end of the day. She was trying too much, and there were just too many instances where it just didn't work. Yeah, it's a shame, but I don't see this making it. The world is over.
I'm hoping that during the live performance, she brings that, Lynne Dita we know and love, because people can get behind this. I think visually it is interesting enough to get her through if she can really nail her live performance tomorrow. And she's a live performer, and I think the full capacity audience is going to bring out the best in her. I still have hope. All right, we move on to Belgium. Blanche, who has traded in her white dress for a black one. Up close, I love it, but far away, the dress does blend into the floor. However, I was really feeling this visually. I like all the white lights, the white lines, and in the final minute, she finally got emotional. She looked like she was scared as hell and gonna cry, but she was feeling something is the point, and I think that makes it a stronger performance.
Yes, but I think she leaves it too late. The first 2 minutes, she I don't know, she looks like she's back with the deer in the headlights look on her face. And when she gets to the final minute and she gets all passionate and emotional, it's hard not to get swept up with her too. But the first 2 minutes then, I think that they've sunk her chances.
I actually disagree. I think that it was quite good all the way through tonight. Like, compared with what we've seen, at least, it was certainly much better than any other performance she's done. It felt like she turned up, to be honest, finally. It was like she's actually been holding it all in the entire time. She was just waiting for the moment she had to do it. She cracked a smile every now and again. Definitely the last minute was the best bit. I think that she has done enough now. I think if she does that again tomorrow, she'll have done enough.
She woke up, and now I hope she stays awake, as you say, because this was her best performance yet. We turn to Slavko Kalezic, Montenegro. He's a lot of fun. I think when people see this for the first time, they'll be really captivated. There were a few vocal missteps, and I think there were a few moments where perhaps his choreography looked a bit more awkward than it normally does, but I enjoyed it nonetheless, and I really hope people get behind this. It's just such a strong semi-final. I don't know if this is going through.
Yes, the jury final isn't the place to decide to freestyle for the first time all week. He did that with both dance moves and some vocals.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was trying as a last-ditch attempt to qualify, because when we first saw him, he was the first fun song we'd seen. But compared to Moldova and Romania, he's like the pound shop.
And even in a way compared with Sweden now, because Sweden has kind of an element of fun with the treadmills and stuff, you know, it's just not there. He tried the vocal ad-lib, he tried to get the crowd going with him, and it does work, he does get the crowd going, and maybe that's what he needs, he just needs to do it tomorrow, so practice it tonight, and then get it right for tomorrow, because the juries were never going to mark this highly at the end of the day. This is entirely a televote song. So if he manages to get that right using today as an example, who knows? But as it is, I think Montenegro are going home.
Because I still love the hair braid gimmick. It's amazing, and people who see it for the first time will love it. We move on to Finland. You guys, this really it made people stop talking. It was stunning. It was beautiful. Vocally, she continues to be flawless. I just feel like she's getting stronger and stronger with each performance. She's like this beautiful singer in bloom. It looked amazing. The stage looks bigger. When they perform, it looks bigger because of the smoke, the power, the emotion. This could be top 3 in the semi. It's in tonight's jury final. It is so strong.
Yeah, I'm getting those UMK feels again. During rehearsals, they'd kind of gone, and I was worried that they'd kind of lost the special connection completely, but I don't know whether it was the crowd again, because the crowd seemed to up nearly everyone's ante. But yeah, it was spellbinding.
I've never got that kind of feeling from the song. Like, from UMK onwards, I never got kind of what everybody else has seen, and I still don't really get that, but I can respect that it's a great song and a great vocal performance, great staging and everything like that. I think that they are probably going to qualify. I don't think they'll do as well as you guys seem to think, but I think that they are safe for qualifying.
All right, next we have Azerbaijan. This is a visual feast. It is so arresting. They've really nailed that opening shot with her writhing on the chalkboard and the sky showing, the sky being the LED, and then it kind of panning back and you seeing the horse. It just looks expensive and well polished. I don't know if she was as on vocally tonight as she has been during rehearsals, but this is more than enough to get through, and she has time to sort out any problems. Visually, this is among the most memorable.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the vocals. I thought they were fine, but I think definitely from a performance point of view, she was at her strongest. That she was confident, she was fierce. The choreography was completely perfect now. There was no dodgy camera shots or anything. And yeah, Azerbaijan are back in it to win it.
I think that there were some vocal issues. It didn't sound like she was giving as much power, which is like, if you're going to do it at any point, surely you do it during the jury rehearsal. But anyway, very good performance. There are some shots that still don't work. When she does the X's on the cloaks, I've never actually once really seen it show up on screen. So I don't know, maybe it works better on TV screens rather than projections like we see, but yeah, otherwise it's very good. It's very artistic, very seer. Azerbaijan know what they're doing.
Absolutely. From the darkness of Azerbaijan, we turn to Portugal. Salvador Sobral serving light in his enchanted forest. You guys, this was really magical. This was really, really enchanting. Yeah. He has his quirkiness. We've talked about it repeatedly. And tonight he kind of ad-libbed by playing a little violin when he was singing. He was really feeling it. Before he went on, you could see him, because they do a shot of the artist right before they go on, and he was telling the audience to hush. I actually bumped into him in the bathroom, kitchen area downstairs before the performance, and he said, oh yeah, I'm worried about people on the island maybe being quite loud, and so it was interesting to see him shushing them, but he didn't have to shush them because his song and his voice are so magical. People stopped talking. There were tingles in the room. I really felt, this was the first time I properly felt winner's vibe from this. I felt a winner's vibe, and this is the right time to be feeling it. Louisa laid down a great foundation, and he is building upon it.
Definitely, because during the show in the press centre, there's always this kind of constant mumble, because not everyone there is the biggest fan as us, and some of them are just there to do their job.
To get free CDs.
Yeah, and they don't care. But the whole room went silent for Salvador, and kind of during the first dress rehearsal earlier, he didn't seem to have that same magic. But and it was nearly as if, oh no, has he kind of lost his chances by not doing all the first and second rehearsals last week? But that winner's vibes came there during the jury final.
I get it. I get it.
Yay!
I still don't like the tits. I still think there's a few too many of them. But if a Marpella Dois won Eurovision, I would not be sad.
Let's do this! Let's do this!
Mic drop.
Let's do this! Am I still in focus, y'all?
Yeah.
Can you touch my face?
We should probably be a bit quicker because we're going on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was 2 minutes on one song.
Great.
Greece.
Next, we turn to Greece, and this was rather interesting. During the first run-through, she seemed not to sing the high note in the chorus. It was more like, this is love. Like, it was much lower than normal. Yeah. We were all confused. Fast forward to after everyone's performed, they announced there were technical problems, and Greece would perform again. Greece performs again, and essentially we learned that the backing vocalists had not been broadcast. It wasn't mixing. And then they did it, and suddenly the high note was back. So Demi does not sing the high note in the chorus. It is her backing vocalist. Gotta say, it sounded much better the second time around, and that's the version the juries are told to judge.
Yeah. See, we kind of thought that Demi was being clever because she's constantly struggled to hit that note. Yeah. And so we kind of thought, okay, they've decided to cut it, that it's not worth the risk. And then, yes, the second performance was much better, but then it's only highlighting the fact that she can't get the notes. And the juries are only human. They've heard the first performance. They can't ignore that. But I don't think it will hamper her too badly.
It was pretty cringeworthy. I actually didn't mind the bit where she went down. It actually kind of worked. It was like, oh, okay, fair play. We've heard her constantly rehearsing that high note backstage. And I guess it's just clear that she just can't hit it. But fair play, like if you're gonna do it, Samra was much more guilty of that last year. Yeah. So hey, fair play.
But is it that she's been missing it, or that her backing vocalist has been missing it this whole time?
Have been failing. I don't know.
Confusion. Either way, I love the performance. Visually, it was on point.
It's Panay.
I thought it was really strong. We turn to Poland. Kaja Mas, her best performance yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, vocally, there was no flaw.
Of the three, I like to call her song, Albania and Georgia, the OTT ballads. She had the best.
Yeah.
She didn't lose, like, Lynne Dita was trying to showboat and failed. Tamara was showboating, but she did it successfully. Cassia kept it simple, and I think she gains from doing that. She just stood out from the other two by just keeping it simple but doing it very, very well.
She looked like a sexy angel.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about it tonight, if I'm honest. Like, she was good, but I kind of feel it slips into the Australia thing of, oh, well, it's good, but is it good enough? I think that the song is just a bit too overwrought, but ultimately, she is a very, very good vocalist, and that must be respected, and the juries will respect that. Is the diaspora probably going to be the thing that pushes her through on the televote? Warwick says yes.
She deserves to be there, y'all.
Yeah.
Kaja, I love you. You slay. All right, we move on to Moldova.
Yeah.
So much fun. So much fun. Of all the quote-unquote gimmick acts, this is perhaps the most polished and mainstream. It's amazing. You feel good. The bridesmaids were feeling it. They threw their bouquets. The guys were dancing with abandon. That little old-school dance move like this, it was so on point. The choreography, they've just grown and grown with each rehearsal. This needs to go through. I think it will go through. I think it'll get both jury support and fan support.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Moldova's non-qualification streak is over. Gone. Dead.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've nothing more.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, that was done. No, very, very good. They get a helping hand as well, because the hosts do actually then go and play Epic's That Sky from 2010 in like a little cutaway section. So, I think Moldova are pretty safe. And actually, for a gimmick, quote-unquote, act, that is still something that juries will probably mark relatively well. So I think that they're good. And the problem is, we're saying this about pretty much every song, but it's just ridiculously tough. Tonight has blown a lot of lists out of the water, I think.
Unlucky number 13, it was Iceland, Svala. Look, I love Iceland. I love her. She's such a warm person, but this song, it's just not working. The staging feels empty. The only thing I remember is her very prominent chest in the, that outfit and the performance. It's not working.
It's as cold as ice. There's nothing to entice you to vote. It gets lost in the running order. The staging doesn't work. She's meant to be weak and fragile according to the lyrics. She's far too aggressive. There's nothing there to pick up televote points. Perhaps the juries will mark her up for vocals, but
they're very good.
But there was no one else that they could be marking down.
I think it's crazy that it's like the 3 years in a row now we've come in thinking, oh, Iceland are going to do really well this year, unbroken, hear them calling paper, and we've got to this stage and each time it's like, well, that's Iceland done. I really like Svala. She is amazing, but there's just something, and I do actually think it is the running order, because in the context of this running order tonight, she's just completely overshadowed on every side by so many songs, and I feel bad for her, but it's just not happening.
She'd be overshadowed no matter where she was. The only way that she would look good was if she was next to Omar Nabar.
It's just the song. It's the pace of the song, the tempo. It feels languid for some reason. She sounds great though. She does a good job with what she has.
It just occurs. It doesn't leave you anything.
Paper is flat.
Yeah.
All right, we move on to the Czech Republic. Martina, Barta, My Turn. Visually, I still love this. It stands out. Even now, when I think back to the semifinal, I remember the gold and a shade of purple. It's very simple, and yet it stands out. Vocally, she's great. And this really stands out musically for the type of genre as well. My heart of heart, I don't think this will go through. I feel like it's going to come 11th to 12th, and I would love to see it go through, but it's a tough semi.
Yeah, I would love to. It's just so nice and feel good. And maybe there might be a bit of subliminal messaging in the jury's mind, because we'll come to it later, but we heard her track for a few moments a second time later on in the show.
I think I'm in the same camp. I really do like the song on a personal level. I think that she has upped the game kind of where the song was to where we are now. I don't think it will qualify, and I don't think tonight was the best we've seen it, but it might be the familiarity, because I think when we first saw it we were like, actually this is pretty good, and then it improved again, and then there's not really anywhere more for her to go, so maybe that's part of the problem.
I must say, I prefer this musically and visually to Gabriela Gunchikova. I think this is a stronger entry, but unfortunately I don't think it has as good of a shot of going through. In any case, the next act, number 15, was Cyprus, Hovig. The choreography has been hit or miss this week, and I think tonight it was more hit than miss, although there was one shot where he seemed to be out of the center. He's supposed to sit in the center of the storm, but he curled up on the ball on the floor and he was slightly off. But I don't know, I like this because it has a chain gang element. I don't know if y'all have that where y'all are from, but where I'm from, you got a men on the road with the chains and the chain gang. And it just felt very old school and yet new school. I don't actually think of Rag and Bone Man anymore at all. With the visuals, it does not make me think of that at all. And I think he sounded great. And he comes late in the running order, so maybe there's a surprise. I mean, I don't think this is a dead cert qualifier by any means, but I think he's improved his chances by nailing the choreography and performing those vocals.
It's slick and polished, but I think everything about it, from the stage show to the performance to his vocals, is too generic to stand out. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Muldoon.
The choreography was finally right the entire way through. It felt like, other than the moment where he laid down in the wrong place on the floor. I think he has a shot of qualifying. I think it will actually might between him and Slovenia, which is worrying because I certainly know who I would choose. But Hovig, vocally good. Yeah, he's good, but is good enough for good enough for Eurovision. Final.
The 16th artist was Artsvik from Armenia, and I'm gonna quote Lavinia, sometimes it's wrong before it's right. At the start of her performance, or what was meant to be the start of her performance, they played the Czech Republic's backing track. So we're sitting there in the darkness hearing, what's her name? My turn. It's like, it's not your turn, it's Artsvik's turn. But you know what? Artsvik, she held her nerve. Unfortunately, the bird that comes out at the end of the show came out at the beginning for whatever reason. I don't know if that seems like a slip-up, a technical slip-up.
Yeah, but it was pink. Isn't it usually a different colour? I don't know whether that might be a visual thing that...
No,
it looks like it was a mistake.
It was the end bird.
Yeah.
The end bird got startled by Martina and flew away, I think. But it's kudos to Artsvik. She was completely unfazed and she came out and delivered as well as she had any of the other times we saw her. And she's sailing out of this final, and I think it's between her and Portugal for the winner's crown.
100% agree. I thought this was amazing. The contrast between the two couldn't be more stark. Ethno-glam and then kind of classic Portuguese language ballad. It's going to be close.
I personally would give it to Artsvik. And I think it might actually go that way because that was stunning again. Over and over again, she is just she is flawless. The production wasn't. Very, very good job. Love the pyro effects. Love just, again, like we said in the top 3 video, which is now up on our YouTube channel. There's something to watch every moment of the performance.
What I love is the contrast between her and Iveta. Iveta was pure sex, whereas Artsvik, she's sexy without being overly sexual.
Yeah.
And that's not in any way a slight against Iveta, because I love that over-sexed honey. But I just think it's an interesting contrast. All right, we move on to Slovenia. Look, I don't like it. I think it's coming last.
Yes, I don't get why they put the toilet break song on so close to the break. People are saying that he might do a Mikkel Spack. I hate Mikkel Spack, but I could see his merits. Omar Naber's song doesn't have anything going for it. There's not even people who liked Michael Spack for nostalgia reasons. They're not going to like Omar Naber. The rhyming scheme is childish. The song is boring. The staging is dull. Yeah, he's staying in the semis and he's battling to avoid last place.
And also on that point, there's no Slovenian diaspora that I'm aware of. If there is, it's quite small.
Yeah, I don't get it. There are people that seem to think he might qualify. Yeah, he is the last male on. Yes, for some people at least, he is a good vocalist. Personally, don't think he is. Well, he's not a vocal that I appreciate anyway. But he didn't mess up. There was nothing wrong with what he did tonight at the end of the day, and it was competent. He might be that kind of person that comes 7th and 7th on both, jury and televote and squeaks in 10th place. I don't know, but I would hope he wouldn't.
I just see it 17th or 18th. I really do. All right, we move on to the final act, Latvia, Triana Park. Y'all, I gotta admit, I went to the toilet because I had to pee really bad, so I only saw half of this. But the half that I saw was really, really good. Bright as ever. She was wild. From what I saw, she still delivers. When the cameras are on, she's not phased in any way. Because this is a girl who walks the line, pees on it, burns it, gives you the finger, and says, bah. She does her, and she's continued to do her this whole time. She's not changed for anyone.
Yeah, people were worried at the start that Latvia might fall to the curse of Moji 3 and come and not qualify, even though they had kind of the prime running spot. But Latvia are definitely getting through to the final with ease. Just the staging, it's so vibrant and it pops, and the song, it really kicks off the party, even though the party is kind of over. But yeah, it sticks in your memory and you're going to pick up the phone and vote.
Did you say Emoji 3?
Emoji 3 or whatever.
Moya 3 honey.
I'm not as confident, and I don't know why. It was on, but I kind of just didn't really pay much attention to it for some reason.
People are clapping for Portugal in the recap right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's love for that.
I really like Triana Park, and I think that it's been getting better all the way through. But I just, not something just didn't click for me today.
You know, when you say that, though, it's funny. When I was walking back from the toilet, I did get a sense of subdued. People seem subdued rather than enthused.
It's been a long day.
Oh, it's been a long day.
And everybody, we've seen the show twice now at this stage, so people aren't going to get that excited. So, but I think viewers at home who haven't seen it, they're going to get swept up in it.
All right, so now quickly we're going to go through. Just name. You don't have to give a long explanation because we got to upload this video.
Just yes and no.
Well, what about our individual top threes?
Oh God. Okay. Artsvik number 1. Georgia number 2, and Portugal number 3.
Armenia, Portugal, Finland.
What was the order?
In no particular order.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Well, it's funny you say that. I am also going to put in my top 3 Portugal and Armenia. I think, geez, I don't know how I would do this. Those 2 are my number 1. And then my 3rd is Finland. Well, that's what we think from the jury final here inside the International Exhibition Center. You can watch the semifinal live tomorrow on Eurovision.tv and your local TV station. That's what we think. What did you think? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to subscribe.
And please like and subscribe and comment and share and all those things.
And we will see you later. Bye!